And
Over to you, Dr. Boutet.
good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And we will start the questions and answers. I tell you that when we did the presentation this morning for you, it was not finished. We have to talk about goiter. What is the test that we need to use for testing the thyroid, TSH? If you have suffered these things and you are going through this is not really difficult. But one thing that I wanted to clarify that is very important before we go on is the TSH test. Many times people do not understand really the TSH test. So this is the way I have learned from Dr. Agatha, and I recommend to my patients to see it. If you see the ranges in the laboratory, it goes from 0.4, most of the labs. It can be different because every lab is different. I have seen labs with 0.5. But anyway, 0.4 up to 4. That's kind of the basics, so you can remember. Okay, so from 0.4 to 4, the middle is approximately 2, right? Okay, make it this way. If your thyroid level, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, is 2, that's perfect. If the TSH goes a little lower than 2, like 1 or maybe side is a hyperthyroid, hyper. How do you remember that? Okay, if it goes low, it's high function. If it goes high thyroid, like 3.5, higher thyroid, it is hypothyroidism. Means it is not functioning well. It is lacking thyroxine or thyroid stimulating hormone. So that way you can remember which one is the one you're dealing with. So if your TSH goes in the high side, it's hyperthyroidism. If it goes in the low side, it's hypothyroidism. It's clear? All right. I mean, sorry, if it goes in the low side, it's hyperthyroidism. If it goes in the high side, it's hypothyroidism. Okay. Correct. Okay, question. What is the first question?
Okay. First, thank you, Dr. Boutet, for the advice you gave me last week for my elderly mother who experienced a stroke 4 months ago.
Oh,
She's on
wow.
a vegan diet and seriously needs to regain a lot of weight. Can I give her more meals a day? And if so, do they need to be 5 hours apart?
Okay. I always recommend to follow God's standard for the patients. We do definitely know that there are situations that are, different, difficult to handle, and you may have some things change in terms of the moment. But it's better to follow um, the standard that God has given us, especially when we talk about nutrition. We don't get more weight because of eating more. That doesn't work. That's one thing. The other thing is we don't we have to see basically what is healthy fat. Example, if we go to the Bible, actually let me share the screen so you can see if we can use it. Can I? Let's see, word. And the Lord shall guide thee continually and satisfy thy soul in drought. So number one, when we talk about nutrition, God really wants us to be satisfied. He doesn't want you to feel hungry and, oh, I didn't have enough to eat. No, He wants you to enjoy it. When you think about food, now, He doesn't want you to overeat. He doesn't want you to be glutton. That doesn't work. You cannot enter the kingdom of heaven if you are a glutton. So we need to make sure we control ourselves in how much we eat. You need to eat what is needed, but not more than that. But He wants you to be satisfied. He doesn't want you to be thinking, oh, I don't have food. No. The beautiful picture of God's plan is you have your portion of land where your family lives, you have a country setting, it's quiet, you can plant your own food and you grow your food. Now, to have a place where you can grow your own food and it has the amount of nutrients, the vitamins and minerals that will be sufficient for you to feel satisfied. When there is no vitamins and minerals in the vegetables, you don't feel satisfied. Prophecy tells us that when the fruit is picked right from the tree is when it has more blessings. That means more vitamins and minerals. Therefore, it's better to pick them, when they are in the tree and ripen the tree. And so all those things play a role, and we have to think about it. The next one is the study shows that when the vegetables are picked today and they are left 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, at the end of the 7 days, 99% of the vitamins and minerals are gone. So vegetables that are, for a long time in the shell are not the best choice. If you don't have anything else, well, you have something to eat, but it's not the best choice. Anyway, it was not God's plan the way the world runs today. That's what I'm saying. But God really wanted us to be satisfied, that we will feed the satisfaction in. And then it says there, and make fat thy bones, which is the main point we're talking about. Fat thy bones. That means, where is the fat, or where should the fat be when you consider real nutrition in God's eyes? Well, this is how I measure the nutrition for my children. I was never worried if my children will look skinny, kind of, I don't worry about that. I worry if my children cannot perform. They don't have energy. They are not jumping around. They don't have energy to go and run in the garden and work in the garden. That will be worry. I will worry if I would see that. But if they are not fat, I will not worry. Why? Because the fat should be in the bones, not in the skin. And then the next way I will measure, especially my children, is I will weigh them. I need to see the scale. And I will weigh them, and I will compare the weight with other children of the same age. I can see even fat children having the same weight of my children that do not look fat. So the point is, if my children are very similar on the weight, looking skinnier, but having the same weight as somebody that is fat, that means their bones are full and they have the right fat, not in the skin. That's not the correct fat. A person that is fat doesn't mean he's nutritionally well. He may be even malnourished. So why do we want to be fat? And beside that, fat is related to dying faster. Those that have more weight will die faster. Beside that, when you are fatter, you cannot work. You have a lot of load on you to work. You cannot do the work that you have to do. So it's actually better to be lighter. You can perform more work than when you have fat. Beside that, you have more inflammation in the body when you have more fat in the skin. When you have more fat, you have more risk of having diabetes. When you have more fat, well, let's stop there. The point is, we can have a whole topic about malnutrition and fat, and you will see that it's not the best thing to be fatter. Let me give you another example. I will have patients in the UC Pines Institute in Seal, Alabama, and they will say, "Oh, Dr. Boutet, I am fat. You see, all have my reserve for the future." And they have diabetes, for example. And I said to myself, "You really are ready for the future? All right, let's see." Then I would tell them, because you have diabetes, I recommend you to fast for 3 days at least to bring your sugar down, because it is in the 200s, 300s, 400s. So let's fast for 3 days, and then you will see what you can do. I will monitor your fasting. Let's see, you don't have any gout, you have no problem, this and that. Okay, let's do the fasting. Are you ready for that? Fasting, what's that? Some people will say, so that means you only eat fruits? I say, no, no fruits, only teas and water. And they will say, that's a kind of foreign thought for them. But anyway, sometimes they would say yes, and then they would say, okay, we'll start. Then I will ask my helpers to measure the sugars daily, see how the patients are doing and so on, their strength and so on. And then the second day, even the first day, they were already shaking and sweating and so on. Anyway, I definitely know that it is not the healthiest thing. Anyway, the next thing is to measure the sugar. So measure the sugar. Sugar was 260. Imagine a person 260 sugar. He is fat and he's feeling weak. Why is he feeling weak? It's because energy is not because of the amount of fat we have in the skin. Energy is measured for the availability of that fat to your body. You can have it there, but you cannot use it. If you don't have vitamins and minerals, you cannot use that fat. So you are malnourished because you don't have the vitamins and minerals. So why do we want to be malnourished? So let me put it this way to end that point. I go to the garden and I have the hook, I have the instruments, and I am plowing my garden by hand. not using tractor, plowing with the hands. I go down the river and I carry a bucket of water to bring it, to filter it so I can drink water. I go down the river and I get it from the Bocal, which is a spring, Bocal here in the Philippines. Anyway, the spring has the water and I take it home and I still filter it. But I carry that. So the point is, go with me, do the same thing. If you can do the work in the way I'm doing it, and you can perform, then you're healthy. If you cannot go with the hoe with me and work with me in the garden for 2 hours, that means you're not healthy. Why do you want to be fat? I don't worry about fat. I want to make sure I have power. You know, I fast for 1 day, 2 days, and I work in the garden and I still can do it. Can you do it? That's what we need to see. That's what I want to see. I don't want my children to be fat and no. I want them to see in the garden. I see my children going to the mountain, planting rice, and they are all into the work. You know, they are not, lazy. I'm tired and bored. No. They are planting rice. Go to the mountain. We go and walk 3 hours to another village and we go and minister to the people there. I go and take my instruments. I do circumcisions. We give them some lectures for children, crafts and all that. We come back 3 hours again. We can hike. That's what is life. That's what is the work of God. So if you can perform the work of God, if you can work in the garden, that's healthy. So that's the aim. Okay, that's a perfect world. That's like the best thing to do. Now let's talk about those that need. For example, God says 5 hours between one meal to the next one. You're not going to be fatter, gaining weight. Of course, you don't want to be skinny to the bone that you don't have the power even to walk. No. The problem is intestinal absorption. Are the intestines healthy to absorb the food? Are your teeth good enough and your saliva good enough to mix that food that can be digested by the body? Those are the things that you need to consider. So if your mother cannot digest the food properly, or she cannot absorb it properly, we have to focus on what? Good teeth, blending it well, mixing it well with saliva so it can be identified by the immune system and will not create allergies. And the intestine, the enzymes, the hormones can be called in the perfect way to do the digestion. If you need some enzymatic activity to help, you can increase the papaya, the pineapple, bromelain, papain. Those are very good anti-inflammatory and also enzymatic activity products that you can use to increase the digestive power. You can use more lemons because they help the protein digestion. You can increase with sprouts. You can add some sprout to the blending of vegetable salad, for example. Give it to her and then she can mix it well with saliva and eat it. When the sprouts are raw, they increase the enzymes and the vitamins and minerals. So it's the healthiest thing in the world when you talk about enzymes and vitamins and minerals. So you can blend some of the sprouts with the salad and give it to your mother. Of course, give something tasty because the sprouts are very strong in taste. They are full of vitamins and minerals that they will be a little bitter. That's why molasses are bitter. They don't have much sweet in it anymore. It has been taken to make sugar, refined sugar. And the leftover is called molasses. It has a very low sugar content, but it has more vitamins and minerals. That's why it's a little bitter. And blackstrap molasses is even more bitter because it has more vitamin and mineral content, less sugar content. Then you have to think about the intestine. If your mother is depressed, it is looking in the bad things, it is not thankful, it is always talking about wrong things, it has a lot of worries, you worry about the children, the grandchildren, and your mother is like that, she's not going to digest the food. She's going to have problems with the absorption of nutrients, she will be malnourished. So where should be your focus? In her spirit. That's where you want to focus your areas. And then the next one is, if the abdomen is not well, you need to help the intestine to decrease the inflammation. If there is inflammation in the intestine, you need to decrease it. How? Well, what causes inflammation in the intestine? If you have allergy to food, the intestine will be so inflamed that you will see the stools coming out like pencil. They are not round like a banana. No, they are coming like pencil because the intestine is inflamed. When you see that happening, you know that there is food reactions in your body. You're reacting to the food. You are not healthy. So you need to find out what allergy you have. If your mother has allergies, you need to find that. Why? because if she has allergies, she will not be absorbing the nutrients because the intestine is always inflamed. You will have more problems in the nutrition. So what else to do? You can put castor oil poultices on the, or just, apply castor oil in the abdominal area. You can apply heat with the castor oil, and that will increase the anti-inflammatory power of the castor oil. You can put onion slices on the abdomen. You can do clay poultices. You can do hot and cold fermentation, of course, not to burn her, but that's what you can do to increase the nutrition and the power of your mother. Your mother actually will have more power if she gets more green leafy vegetables, but be careful. Green leafy vegetables, if they are not well chewed, they will give you pain in the stomach. Because you cannot just swallow green leafy vegetables. You have to chew it well. And she doesn't have the chewing capacity, the teeth. You need to blend it. And then after blending, she needs to mix it well with the saliva. And those things may be challenging. And I know because of the age, if you have to go through that, well, we do what is best and we pray that God will help us. But things happen. The devil wants to destroy our teeth so we cannot chew. And majority of people, even here in the Philippines, we see it's so sad, children, even 20 years old, no teeth whatsoever. That's very sad. And you see children already, 1 year old, already all the front teeth are gone. And this is milky teeth. In Guyana, we had the situation, and even here in the Philippines, we had one case. In the Guyana, I remember 2 cases, but here in the Philippines, 1 case. 6 years old boy, the mama comes saying, take all the teeth out. What? What do you want me to take a 6 years old boy, all the teeth out, 20 teeth? Because they don't have 32, they have 20. And my queen, she's a dentist, and she called me to take a picture of this little one. And then in Guyana, I remember well that case. And the mother said, no, he doesn't have good teeth. All the teeth were just like black roots, only black roots, nothing, no white teeth, I took a picture of that. And then my queen says, okay, let's put him in the dental chair. And he can, fight. You can imagine a child that you tell him, I'm going to take your 20 teeth out. No way, you cannot have that child there. Anyway, long story short, this is my queen said, can you imagine? I am the dentist. I'm here to help. Imagine, the cultures. Oh, if you don't behave well, I'll take you to the dentist. Oh, that child is with more fear. You remember that, right? It's in our culture, yes or no? If you don't behave well, I will take you so they can give you an injection. Anyway, they think that that's the devil. So when we see the children see somebody with a white coat, that's the devil. Oh, I thought the angels were white. No, the angels are white. The devils are white. Anyway, children are, my queen says, you cannot even put the child in the dental chair. How can you imagine that I will do 20 teeth extraction in 1 day for your child? That's punishment. That's trauma. That's unbelievable. Then the child doesn't allow the extraction. Then they go. And the mother is all sad and angry, I should say, because you don't want to extract my children's teeth. You don't want to help them. Well, that's not a right way to think, but we cannot avoid it. That's the way it happens. We face it. I saw it in my own eyes. Even here in the Philippines, the same thing happened. I mean, that's not the best thing. That's not the way to do it. But we cannot change people. We just help them, and we love them, and we do what we can. But anyway, the point is, God intended it that we will have our teeth so we can chew the food properly and make more dopamine. People that chew carrots have more dopamine production in the brain. Dopamine is related to Parkinson's disease. Lack of dopamine gives Parkinson. Why do we have more Parkinson? Because we don't chew the food. We don't eat crunchy things, hard things like carrots, apple. Oh, everything is sliced, breads. Everything is smooth and soft. Anyway, if we don't have our teeth, we have less advantages in our life. But keeping it in the way God wanted, it will be better. I hope these answer at least the beginning of your question, because we can keep on going and talking about this. About weight. When we talk about cancer, if you have heard my presentation about cancer, I never worry with my cancer patients about weight. No, you don't have to worry, because your fat will feed the cancer. It's clear. So why do you want to have fat? You even want to even lose it if you want, if you say for a cancer patient. to be able to fight the cancer more. And then when you are better, when you fight the cancer, you can gain more weight. That's fine. My concern is, do you have power? Is the cancer painful? Is it growing the mass? If it's not growing, if you have more power and it's not painful, you lose weight, don't worry about it. You are fighting the cancer, you don't have to worry. Anyway, next question. I know there are many.
Okay, thanks. Following up. Do you have any recommendations for stroke prevention
Oh,
and
yeah.
recovery and
Oh,
dementia recovery?
mention. Okay. So,
Um,
go ahead.
yes, she's not on medication right now. The only one prescribed for her right now is
Mhm.
baby aspirin
Yes, correct.
and Protonex to
Mhm.
offset any stomach disturbances
Yes.
from the aspirin. And the person says that I am not giving her either. I give her white willow bark sometimes in lieu of aspirin, but I'm incorporating more ginger and turmeric in her diet as blood thinners.
Mhm. Mhm. All right.
So, yeah.
Yes, I have had many cases of clotting problem patients, and definitely cholesterol high, you know, prone to strokes and heart attacks, or even ED, erectile dysfunction. And I can tell you the main thing that will get out any risk of clotting and strokes is eliminating vegetable oils. If you eliminate vegetable oils, there will be no risk of having a stroke. Why? Because vegetable oils damage the endothelial cells of the arteries. It is the most significant damaging agent in the world in terms of atherosclerosis. If you eliminate that thing, you will have no worries about stroke. Now, that doesn't mean the arteries are healed. That's another story. We want to heal the damage. We want to heal the high cholesterol. We want to make sure the cholesterol is not damaged to the arteries and they recover. Because once they are damaged, it's very hard, but it is possible. Why? It takes 3 to 5 years in a vegetarian diet to be able to heal the arteries. So it's not easy, but at least as soon as you stop using the oil, you will have no risk of stroke or even coagulopathies. Now, the point is this: what makes the blood to be easy to coagulate? There is not enough water. You're not drinking enough water. That's one of the main ones. And then if you're using oils, the blood is sticky. It's very bad. Let me give you another example. One day I was here in the Philippines, 2014, I think it was. And I bought big containers, these big containers that they use in the bakeries. And these containers have what is called shortening. And if you read the ingredients of that thing, you will be amazed. But that's what they use in the bakeries here in the Philippines. Okay, I bought the empty containers because my wife, my queen, wanted something to store, blankets and things like that. Okay, so I got 2 of those and I left it outside the house. And I get busy, forgot about the thing. And then one day I come almost near a week and I see the container and I said, I forgot about this container. But you see, not even an ant has touched any of that. If an ant doesn't go in that container, doesn't touch that, is that food? Or what is it? What is it that ants don't touch it? Then I said to myself, let me make a test. I will put this in the sun. So I put the container right in the sun, where the sun will hit it all day long. I left it there for a week. And you know that thing did not melt in 1 week? If the sun itself cannot melt that thing, how is that going to go into your blood? Well, that thing is mixed in the bread and you eat it and it's so tasty and so good, but that goes in the blood in the same way, as thick and hard as that. Because when you eat it and it's absorbed, it just goes the same way. So can you imagine how many clots are you going to be forming in your blood because you have that thing in your blood? No way. You cannot afford that. It's risky. So what I'm saying is, the reason people have clots problem is they don't exercise. There is not drinking enough water. There is many oils in the diet, plenty of oil in the diet, and a lot of fat maybe. if your fat content, you intake, you're eating a lot of nuts, avocados, and peanut butters and all that, you don't do exercise, oh, worse. So how do you care for persons with have coagulopathy? Put them to work, put them to walk. If they can not do anything else, just walking. Make sure they are active. Make sure they drink enough water. Of course, we're not talking about someone that has heart disease, like heart failure, kidney failure, that they cannot, they should not drink too much water. Regular people we're talking about, normal problems, not a big thing. But every case is different. We have to talk about them. But the point is, if you put them to exercise, drinking enough water, there is no oils in the diet, you should not worry about coagulopathies. You don't even need those medications. You can talk to your doctor and they can eliminate it because you don't need those things. And you avoid all those tonics and all those that damage your stomach also when you take them. You decrease the acid, but they damage the stomach. Even bicarbonate, it is very damaging to the stomach and also poisons the entire system, as God says in CD 316. So we want to avoid those things, but we need to have a new route, a better way to do it. But yes, contact me if you need more details regarding that. And for the cholesterol lowering plan, I do have it. I can send it to you. And it is easy. You don't have to buy any supplements or nothing, and you will be able to keep it in the good way. There are other things that you can use beside these basic diet and nutrition plans. Like, for example, to keep your blood really thin, that it's nice and you don't have coagulation, is you can eat more garlic, sometimes a little avocado if you don't have cholesterol problems already, or if you have, don't worry about the avocado, you just use the garlic. And also grape juice, it helps also. And then I was thinking about something else. Yeah, you can use green leafy vegetables. Now let me warn you, green leafy vegetables has a concern in the medical field, because green leafy vegetables make your blood very thin, and that's why you should not mix it with the medications for thinning the blood. But the point is this: if you have a good diet and good lifestyle, and you are not having any risk of having problems, and you already are seeing the benefits of your blood being thin and you are flowing well, if you keep the eating of the green leafy vegetables without the medication, then you will be able to keep your blood thin without using the medication. So the point is, the goal is this: you cannot start with the green leafy vegetables using the medication, because you should not be eating them. But your lifestyle changes, drinking more water, being more active, eliminating the oils, will make the way so when your blood is already better, you can use the greens. You have been talking to your doctor about eliminating the coagulation medication, anticoagulation medication, or the blood thinners, and then you can stay on a good diet that will keep your blood thin, and you don't have to worry anymore about taking medication that are damaging your body. I'll give you more risk. I hope it's well explained. I hope. If not, just ask me. I can try to explain more.
Great. And the next we will have Sister Joanne. Your hand was raised. I saw it. You can
Oh, can
Okay,
I?
it's because I was trying to put some text in the chat, and then it wouldn't work. So
okay.
okay, so my question is, at one point I had low thyroids, maybe 15 years ago. Then
Okay.
for maybe 3 years, 4 years, I took some pills,
Uh-huh.
and then I don't know, so 6, 7, 8 years ago, they told me, oh, you don't need pills no more. Your thyroid's okay, but my hair is very, very thin, and
Yes, yes.
tata. And so I was just wondering what is it? I was wondering, what do I do for thin hair?
Yes. Uh, Please remind me, I did not finish the previous question regarding what to do when a patient already had a stroke. And we will talk about hydrotherapy. And then this one was dementia. I didn't cover. I didn't completely answer that question. What to do for dementia? I mean, the dementia is a whole topic, but I will try to give you a little, But let me answer this question first, because we have it already on the table. Thyroid and thin hair. Remember that the reason the thin hair is because the hormones in the body will damage the process of making hair in our head. The skin doesn't have all the nutrients that we need for that hair to be healthy. So what will give health to your hair? Well, one thing is, of course, your thyroid being back to normal. And for that, of course, you have to follow the program. But the next one is it takes time for the hair to go back to the normal. It takes time to the hair to grow also. So we need to wait for a little while. It doesn't happen one night to the next one. It may take few months or even years sometimes. But anyway, the best thing to do is give health to your hair. How? You can use contrast on the head, hot and cold, hydrotherapy. You can use also application of oils, especially healthy oils. Oils are good for the outside, not for the eating.
Yeah.
They're good for the skin, for the hair. Avocado, you can use avocado. You make all these good practices of hygiene and also aesthetics. People use those for the hair. You can apply cucumber. You can apply papaya. You can apply many things into the hair to give health to the hair. Selenium is very significant for the hair. Vitamin C is very significant for the hair. You can get it in by eating, lemons and kiwis and watermelon, sweet peppers. They do have high content of vitamin C, or even making a concoction of pine needle tea. The pine needles, you get the pine needles, a bunch in your hand, 1 liter of water. You boil that water. When the water is boiling, you turn it off, put the pine needles in it, cover it, let it cool down. Don't boil the pine needles. When you boil it, all the vitamin C is gone. So don't boil, just infusion. When it's boiling, turn it off. Put the leaves, cover it, let it cool down, then you drink it. 1 liter, a bunch in your hand. That's simple. No problems of dosages or anything. And then you drink it through the day. That is the highest thing in the US for vitamin C, even more than foods. So if you don't have, sweet peppers organically grown, high in vitamin C, you buy from the market and you don't have enough, you just get pine needle tea and drink it. And that is good for vitamin C. You don't have to do it daily. You can do it every other day and so on. And that will give you more vitamin C. The next thing is the lemon inside. And then selenium, you can eat Brazilian nuts. Now, Brazilian nuts, just a few amounts, as long as you don't have problem with fat, the digestion or intolerance, you cannot digest fats. If you have foul smell and things like that when eating fats, maybe that's not the way to do it. Maybe green leafy vegetable will be better for selenium, but Brazil nuts are good also in selenium. You can eat some of it, not too much, but some of it. But green leafy vegetables is the best for all the nutrients. So even selenium you can eat. So the more green leafy vegetables you eat, the better it will be. Now, if you have some problem with medication and so on, we can talk about those issues, address them, and then we can start with green leafy vegetables later. But that's one of the things that will help in the hair. And then also, what else I was going to say? Oh, aloe vera. Aloe vera is definitely good for the hair. Very common remedy at home. And then the other one I was going to say is castor oil. Castor oil in itself is good for the hair. Application of castor oil on the hair. And yeah, basically that's one of the best way to deal with hair loss. And continue with the thyroid. Make sure you have the hot compresses until you don't have to do it every day either. Once you are getting better, you can space it out every 2 days, every other day. And as the time goes, months goes, then the hair will be better, and then you can eventually stop doing those things because you have a healthier life to keep the hair in the proper way.
So do you have a book, like all this stuff you say? It's hard to write that fast.
I do have
a book. If you have a book for sale.
No, I don't have a book, but I do recommend people use my friends and my mentor's book. Dr. Agatha had a book, Encyclopedia of Natural Remedies. And my friend, Dr. John Clark in the US, he has a book. He has a Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. Just finished it maybe last year already. 1 year already, maybe. But it's available. You can buy it or you can get it free PDF online. His webpage is www.rev, like revelation, rev, R-E-V, then the number 14, as a number, not as a name, as a written word. No, it's rev14.com. That's a simple way to get to his webpage. His webpage, the name of the webpage is long, Northern Light Educational Ministry. But if you type rev14.com, you go there.
Northern Light Education. Where was
found
the other? No, I wrote down Northern Lights Education.
the Educational Ministries. That's the long name.
And then, what about the title of his book? What is the title?
Yeah, the book is called Encyclopedia of Natural Remedies, Dr. John Clark. It's right there on the front page of the webpage, right? You just scroll down a little bit and you will see it. He's promoting it there.
Yeah.
And the PDF is free, but you can buy it.
Encyclopedia of Natural Remedy?
Correct. Encyclopedia of Natural Remedies.
Okay, thank you
He
very
is
much.
a very good friend of mine. He's great in his missionary work. He's an orthopedic surgeon, but he left that to do medical missionary work like me. He doesn't see that there's a benefit in wasting time getting money into orthopedic when he can be doing more work for the Lord in the way he's doing it right now.
Wow, nice. So that book and the PDF is the same. The PDF
Yes.
RE14 is the same. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for all your
But
time.
if you contact me, I will try to maybe repeat it if I need to give you some ideas again, so you can have it more available. Just contact me in my WhatsApp.
What happened because my ears, I have long hair, and because they're so thin, they get always tangled.
Yes.
It's
And then
tangled.
remember, hormone balance is very important for female. There may be hormone imbalance, and then you need to do it. How? Sunbathing. We need to wake up at the same time, eat at the same time, exercise at the same time, pray at the same time. When you have regularity in all these things, your hormones are better. And we need to maybe drink some teas. There are many hormonal teas, and I can talk with you more, personally in regard to which take. But there is a list of 9 herbs that are probably good for hormone balance. I use a combination of those sometimes, and I can send it to you.
So we can talk to you about if we call you.
Sure.
So what's your phone number?
My phone number is. Let me type it so it's easier.
Okay.
The code is.
He will send it. He will post it in the chat at the end of the presentation, so it's not broken.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Boutet.
You're welcome.
Because I'm a slow learner, so I'll need to talk.
No problem. We understand that.
French.
Okay, I will probably try to finish the other question now.
Okay.
What to do when the person already had a stroke? Well, definitely stop the oils, because he's going to have another stroke. No question. Strokes will happen again and again and again. It happened to my father-in-law. That's how he died. Anyway, I couldn't even myself prevent it. He didn't want to follow some of the things. But anyway, life is the way it is. I wanted to have him more, but couldn't do it. Couldn't happen. And once you have one stroke, you will have another one. So you need to lower your cholesterol, make sure it is lower. You need to follow the 3 to 5 years plan to heal the arteries. And I can send you my protocol for that. It's possible. You can do it. And then you need to do hydro. You need to do hot and cold, whole body hot and cold. If you do the jets, like the jacuzzi type thing, but you are standing and you do the jet, you can do that. You can do the contrast in 2 containers, big containers, going in the hot 3 minutes, 1 minute in the cold, 3 minutes in the hot, 1 minute in the cold. If you don't have that, you can do the wet sheet pack at home. It's a simple thing. And that you can wrap the person in a blanket. If you have not seen the wet sheet pack, I can send you my videos, and then learn how to do it. And the wet sheet pack basically will increase the heat of the body. You have to make sure you keep the head cold, and will help the circulation of the entire body so the body can recover. Now, remember, in medicine, there is no recovery for nerves. We don't know anything about recovering of nerves, but there are a few things we can do to help the person to get better. We cannot assure that the person will have a full power because of the nerves recovering, but at least some more activities. And I never put an end of what God can say and what He can do, because if He wants, He can get everything back to normal if He wants. But the question is, number one, is that person going to follow God's healing methods and God's approved lifestyle that keeps the body healthy? Is he going to give his life to the service of God to the way that God intended it? That I cannot answer. If we can answer those positively, God can do more maybe, but I am not God to take a decision. Once it happened, wow, it's hard to go back. Recovering 100% is not easy, at least for me, my experience. I am not the all knowledge in everything. I don't know everything. I'm just a human being. But what I know, I share. And I know I can tell you, I have seen people recovering, and it's possible. Then dementia. Dementia. The problem with dementia is vast. You can talk about many things in dementia. You can talk about aluminum intake, deodorants, aluminum in the environment. We can talk about pots, using pots with aluminum. We can talk about high caloric intake, food overeating. We talk about problems with acetylcholine, and we talk about heavy metal toxicity. We can talk about non-nutritionally well diet and lifestyle, not eating green leafy vegetables. We can talk about lack of exercise, high cholesterol in the diet, all that. We can go on and on and on talking about Alzheimer's or dementia, all the problems in the brain. But I can recommend you a few things, definitely. If you want your brain to be healthy, you need to do more sunbathing. You need to do more green leafy vegetables in your diet. Remember Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar had a problem with pride, and God allowed the enemy to touch him with basically dementia, or even maybe bipolar, whatever. But whatever he had, psychiatrically speaking, God gave him an opportunity, hope, by eating grass. Amazing. We go again to Revelation 22:2. The leaves are for the healing of the nation. If you watch the video from Dr. Russell Blaylock, a renowned neurosurgeon in the US, he talks about using the green leafy vegetables and the broccoli and alpha lipoic acid and all those things for recovering the brain. There are many plants you can use. There are many things we can talk regarding dementia. But definitely, you need to make sure the cholesterol is low. You are not using oils, because that makes the circulation worse in the brain and makes it worse. Do not overeat. Make sure that you control that. You have to measure your activities, physical activity versus the amount of food you eat. If you're a person that are sedentary, working in office, and you eat a high caloric diet, you're gonna smash your brain. Oh, one more thing. People don't consider this, but it's very important. And you can find it in the spiritual prophecy. God is very specific, not eating heavy meals at night and eating it earlier. And also that you do not sleep after a meal. So for my children's training, I have always kept this really tight, that I never allow them to go to sleep after breastfeeding. And now that they are grown, they know already the rules, they know God's plan. They should not be sleeping after eating. Why? When you sleep after eating, the blood goes to the stomach. That's why you feel drowsy, kind of drunk. And the suggestion or recommendation when you feel like that is go for a walk. Brisk walk, you know, a digestive walk is called in the spirit prophecy. Digestive walk with your shoulders up and back, you know, facing the road well, that you can have the better digestion and you don't feel sleepy. Why is that so? When you feel sleepy, drowsy, because the blood goes to the stomach and there is not enough blood in the brain, in your arms, in your legs, you feel even cold hands, you want to crawl in the bed maybe because you feel like you want to sleep after eating, it is not the good thing to give up. You need to resist the devil and he will flee from you. You need to resist it. How? Go for the digestive walk. If you have a problem with allergies, you cannot wake up after eating. That means your food is killing you. The immune system is reacting to it. It's making a reaction just like when you have an infection. And there is a load of energy that you need to do that. And you have no power. And the immune system gets the blood into that reaction to work for that. And your brain doesn't get what you need. You cannot wake up. People call you, you cannot wake up. Those kind of situations when you eat and you feel that way are very damaging to the body, and the brain suffers. The first thing that happens then for the brain is there is no blood to supply the functions of the brain. So you're kind of like a drunkard. You don't have enough blood supply, your brain cells die. There's more damage in the areas for memory, and you will not have enough memory soon. So we need to make sure we don't damage our brain, and that's one of the ways to do it. Do not lay down after eating. Go for a brisk walk, digestive walk that you can, well, I should not say a brisk walk. I should correct that. I should say a digestive walk, not so brisk. Because if it's brisk, it's more exercise. And as the Spirit Prophet says, 30 minutes after the meal, you should not have strenuous exercises physically and mentally. It says there. So I treasure my mother's recommendation when she taught me as a student, son, eat your meal and 30 minutes after, do not study. Go and wash the dishes, brush your teeth, fix your books, fix your bed, do whatever you need, you know, but don't tax your brain. Don't study after 30 minutes of eating. After the 30 minutes of light work, then you can start studying. And I appreciate that from my mother. She taught me that, and I follow that to the letter. And it says there, no strenuous physical exercise. So if you have just eaten, don't go and carry sacks of rice. That shouldn't happen. That's not correct. Go and fix the workplace and do some maybe computer texting, whatever you need to do, maybe just walk. But anyway, whatever you need, don't do strenuous exercise mentally or physically. I can send you the quote if you need another time, but I don't have it right in front of me. But I can send it to you. I should have it in my bookmarks. Okay, I think I answered at least the beginning of that question, because we can go on and on talking, right? Next question.
All right, here is another one. Someone has hemolytic, I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, anemia.
Yes.
It's autoimmune. The person is on prednisone
Yes.
by her doctor. She now has terrible acid reflux, and she believes the medication, she believes the prednisone it's making it worse.
Yes.
Would like your help.
Yes. Okay. As you see, this is an autoimmune disease, meaning your body is attacking itself. The immune system considers that a part of your body is not correct. It's not our own. So it's crazy. The immune system is not recognizing yourself. So what are we going to do for that? When you have an autoimmune disease, number one, you have to find the cause of that problem. There must be something that is causing the autoimmune disease. That's why I recommend people to go and watch the video from my friend, Dr. John Clark, about autoimmune disease. I use this presentation myself. I It's so complete and beautiful. He has done this work already, so why do we have to invent what is invented? Anyway, he gave me permission to use them, so I do use them myself. And it's very complete. You see approximately 200 slides of causes of autoimmune diseases. So what you actually do at the end of that presentation is, Lord, I have done so much wrong in this and this and this and this and and the only thing you have to do is say, Lord, please forgive me and help me to do right. You were not sleeping at the same time. You eat and any time, no fixed time for eating. You're out of whack in all schedules. You wake up different times. You have a night shift, day shift, whatever. You are all out of order. That causes autoimmune disease. You are stressful. You are a depressed person. You are in a situation with marriage problems. You have a lot of stress. You have this and that. All that causes autoimmune disease. There are 200 causes: chemical reactions, dyes in hair, many things that causes autoimmune disease. So the focus really should be in, let's bring back the immune system to the normal. How? Follow God's laws in your lifestyle. And if you do that, God will bless it. That's the main thing. And please, if you have never heard my presentation about God's healing art, the art of healing that God approves, then you have to consider those things, because you need to follow the healing method that He approves. I can share with you the presentation about that. If you don't have it, if you have not heard it, I have some audios and some videos about it. Anyway, in God's plan, we need to use the nature things that He had approved so we can help the body to heal. And one of them is sunbathing. For all autoimmune diseases, you need to make sure you do sunbathing. You need to bring your vitamin D back to normal as much as possible, so you can have your body help to have your blood fix that you are not, damaging and getting the anemia that you have. Because the key is, make sure your blood is formed properly. Where is the blood formed? The blood is formed in the bone marrow. So the cells that make the blood needs to do it in the proper way. The only or most powerful steroid type hormone is vitamin D. So if you're taking the prednisone, which is a steroid type hormone, and you do it, you have to work with your doctor, because you cannot just stop prednisone just like that. You have to make sure you decrease the dosage slowly as you are doing the lifestyle changes, because otherwise you will have a reaction, a very bad reaction with, being out of the prednisone. So make sure you talk with him really well, but you follow the lifestyle. You start making the changes of your lifestyle. You watch that video, be better by doing some hydrotherapy treatments like the wet chip pack and so on, and we can help. There are some teas maybe you can do that are helping with the immune system. We can also work on the spiritual aspect, control your emotions, not anger, not depression, especially depression. And I have a depression program. You have to be careful with music. You have to be careful with some things that you may be eating, especially bananas, and so on. I can tell you more if is needed, if you have some of those.
The person is following the health message apparently, as much as possible, and goes on long walks daily. These walks are outdoor, but still experiencing what was mentioned prior.
Mhm. Now, also, you have to remember something. When we are talking about hemolytic anemia, your immune system is attacking, we also have to talk about diet, and also that there may be some things causing the immune system attacking in the bones. And normally, we talk about high sugar intake, because you can be a vegetarian but still eat a lot of sugar. We can talk about oils in the diet. You can be a vegetarian but still eat a lot of oil, and that will cause more problems. And we have to also emphasize that as God gives us a diet, it should be with no flesh. If you have flesh in your diet, that may be one of the causes of the autoimmune reaction. Especially if we talk about milk, there may be a high intake of milk, being an ovo-lacto vegetarian, maybe. I don't know. If there is anything of this, then you have to consider. The other one is, as I said before, vaccinations. It may